Hey guys, it's Kat. So today I went down a Reddit rabbit hole for you, obviously, and I found some of the wildest, most interesting stories I've seen in a minute. I'll read them, and then I'm giving my honest commentary after each one because some of these people need to be studied. And while we're doing that, I'll be playing what technically counts as Minecraft. It's actually a Sonic racing game, but I have the Minecraft DLC on, so we're just gonna roll with it. If you end up liking the video, make sure you subscribe and drop a like. It really helps me out. All right, get comfortable. Let's get into it. Am I the a-hole for not letting my BF use my life savings to fix his credit? I'm literally shaking while typing this because Has currently in the other room giving me the silent treatment. My BF, 32M, has had absolute trash credit since his 20s, like old medical bills and just dumb, reckless spending. We want to buy a house eventually, so it's a huge stressor. Well, he basically sat me down yesterday and asked if he could take a loan from my personal savings to pay off his debts. I asked for a specific repayment plan or like any math at all, and he just got super vague, like, I'll pay you back eventually once my score goes up. I told him no. I worked my ass off for that money, and it's for our future house or emergencies, not to just throw into a black hole with no plan. He exploded, told me I'm putting money before our relationship and that I don't trust him. Am I crazy for wanting a solid plan before I just hand over my life savings? Wow. Yeah, I'd say she is not in the wrong at all. He asked for your life savings with no real plan to pay you back. You asked for basic details. That's normal. If he can't explain how he's going to repay you, you shouldn't hand over the money. That's just common sense. Am I the a-hole for robbing my wife's affair partner, which has now led to his divorce? I, 32, have been married to my soon-to-be ex-wife, 30, Madison, for 4 years. We are currently in counseling, but it is not going to work. About a year ago, I found out she was having an affair by coming home to their clothes in our living room and sounds coming from our bedroom. I lost it. I was getting my cricket bat out of the front closet when I stopped to think about consequences. I did not want to go to jail. Instead, I took all their clothes and left quietly. I went to a friend's house, but not before throwing all the clothes in a McDonald's garbage can. I turned off my phone and got shit-faced with my buddy. His wife hosed us off in the morning. After I turned my phone back on, I had dozens of calls and texts from Madison, first scared because she got my updated flight information, then upset that I hadn't called her to let her know I was going to be coming home early, then freaked out that the house had been broken into, then crazy because she figured out it was me. They just got more deranged. The guy she was with is 5 inches shorter than me and about 60 pounds lighter, so if he had taken my clothes, it would be obvious. He ended up calling his friend to go get his spare keys from his house. Unfortunately for him, his wife smelled a rat and followed his friend back to my house, where she saw him leaving in oversized clothes. Long story short, she took pictures and she had evidence of his infidelity, which caused their prenup to be canceled, which cost him a lot of money. It is all one big giant shit show. It took a couple of months, but my wife convinced me to try and forgive her. We started going to counseling and we were working our way through it until recently. In a counseling session, she said that I was wrong to steal his wallet, phone, and car keys. She said that his divorce is costing him a lot of money and that I should have dealt with it in a more mature manner and that it was my fault. I have never admitted to taking his stuff. To begin with, I was afraid he might call the cops. Then I didn't want to give her ammunition in case she wanted a divorce. Now I just don't care. I told her that her cheating was the reason her boyfriend is getting divorced, and that I hope his ex takes everything. I am still not living at home. I have my own apartment and I'm filing for divorce. Now that I know how she feels, it is kind of a slap in the face that she is blaming me for his divorce. Dang, you didn't ruin his marriage. He did. You walked in on your wife cheating, didn't get violent, didn't go to jail, and left. That alone is more restraint than most people would have shown. His wife followed him. She saw him. She got proof. That's on him. If he hadn't been in your bed, none of this happens. The wild part is your wife defending him and blaming you. That tells you everything you need to know. Okay, let's switch up the vibe for the next few stories. I found some on r/wholesome, and while reading them, they brought smiles to my face. My neighbor's kid left me a note after seeing me walk my dog every morning. Every morning before work, I walk my old golden retriever around the block. We've been doing it for years. Same route, same time, nothing special. Lately, I noticed this little kid across the street would wave from the window every day as we passed. I'd wave back, and that was our whole routine. This morning, her mom came out and handed me a small folded piece of paper. It was a drawing of me and my dog with "We like seeing you" written in crayon. I don't even know this kid's name, but that hit me harder than any compliment I've gotten all year. I walked home with this stupid happy grin, holding the note like it was made of gold. I showed it to a few friends in a My Prize group chat where we play, and even they melted over it. Sometimes the world throws you a tiny reminder that not everything sucks. That note's going on my fridge forever. One of my friends, let's say Anne, bought a Persian-style rug from another friend, Barbara, at Barbara's garage sale. Barbara was divorced and short on funds. Barbara said something like, "The rug is $10. If you don't want it, it's going to the dump." Anne didn't really have a use for the threadbare, filthy rug that had some holes, but she bought it to help her friend. Anne cleaned it up with Tide and the garden hose on the driveway. When it dried, she put it over the fitted carpet in her living room to store it, while she decided what to do with it. About this time, Anne bought a lovely Persian rug from a dealer in a nearby city. When he delivered her new carpet, he offered her $300 for the rug that she had bought from Barbara. Anne immediately took the $300 in cash and gave $290 to Barbara. Anne's only regret was that she was so astonished that she didn't try to get a bit more for the carpet. My dad apparently hears me say, "I love you." When he leaves, for some context, no one in my family is very verbally or physically affectionate. We never say, "I love you," or often hug. We normally all just do things for each other because we all think actions speak louder than words. Unfortunately, because of this, saying "I love you" doesn't come naturally, and no one in our family really directly says it. However, I would always whisper it after my dad left for work. Mind you, I'm 20 years old and currently in university, but I would always say, "Bye, Daddy, I love you," just to myself every time he leaves. What I didn't know was he had a camera installed 2 months ago when we went on vacation to monitor the dogs in front door, and noticed I would whisper it every time he left. My grandmother recently died, and he shared this with me to comfort me, telling me about how it's his favorite part of his day and how he would check the camera every time he got to work to listen to it. I remember him telling me, "I'm glad you still secretly call me that. It reminds me that deep inside, you're still my little girl. I hope this little tidbit brightens someone's day." Wow, this one really hit me. Always make sure to tell your parents you love them. Without them, you'd be nothing. This next one is a short one, but just hits the right spot. The barista at my local cafe just became a full-time guardian to her little brother. The whole community helped her out. She's 19, works full-time, and never really talked about her personal life. A few weeks ago, I noticed a small note near the register. She was trying to get custody of her 10-year-old brother after losing both parents. No drama, just quietly trying to keep her family together. People started pitching in, a few regulars donated, someone made a GoFundMe. The cafe owner matched it. One of the knitting ladies who comes in every morning gave $1,000. It spread a little, and they raised enough to cover legal costs, and then some. She found out during a shift and just stood there wiping the counter with tears in her eyes. Now her little brother comes in sometimes after school with his backpack and a muffin, doing homework at the corner table. It's been one of the most quietly beautiful things I've ever seen. I have to agree on this. That is definitely a beautiful act of kindness and generosity. We need more people like this in the world, willing to help others when needed. I found these last few stories on r/advice. Buckle up and get ready. Husband surprised me with a divorce, cleaned out bank accounts, and shut off credit cards. How can I find an attorney with no money? Tonight, when my husband got home from work, he informed me he wants a divorce and will be leaving until it's done. This is not a huge surprise, honestly. Ever since our daughter was born, we've just not been getting along. What is a surprise is its suddenness. I've been a stay-at-home mom since our daughter was born 2 years ago. It just didn't make sense to work and spend 90% of what I made on daycare. So in talking to him before he was finished packing, he told me, "Good luck with the mortgage and bills. I've taken my money out of our bank account and turned off your card on my credit." I would say I was shocked, but I really am not. He's very mean when he's angry and never has seemed to connect with his daughter. He wanted a boy, and from the day we got the word we were having a daughter, he's been distant. I obviously need an attorney. I logged into our bank account. Sure enough, it's at $5. What resources can I begin looking into to get an attorney for free to help at least make him pay the bills and food until I can find childcare and a job? Is there anything I can do myself with the courts that is semi-quick to at least have him pay for the necessities since he cleaned out our joint account, or at least money for an attorney? And I understand it's all his money, but we are married with a child. I don't see how he can just leave us with nothing all of the sudden. I'm in Wisconsin. I've tried to Google up the best could since the little one went to sleep, but I can't find what I'm looking for or even really know what I'm looking for. Thanks for anyone who helps. That's incredibly terrible to hear. He made a big mistake emptying your bank account. The judges won't look favorably on him for doing that. For this next story, to all the short men out there, you are loved. I went on a date with a girl and she left after eating. I'm 20 and I'm currently trying to date, but it's very hard since I'm very short, 5 feet 6 inches, and in my state, guys seem to be really tall. And it doesn't help that short guys are getting trashed on pretty hard on TikTok. I ended up matching with a girl. We started talking, and eventually she asked for my height. I told her and was expecting her to stop talking to me, but she didn't. We set up a date, and I was really nervous, but also excited because I haven't been on a date before. So this was my first. I made sure I looked nice and picked a nice restaurant. She got to the restaurant, but everything felt different. She wasn't engaging much in conversation and seemed disinterested. It was 30 minutes of me trying to stir up conversation, but she wasn't interested, I guess. She left to use the bathroom, but after a few minutes, I realized she left. It was a pretty expensive meal, too. I see tall guys around campus in relationships, and I don't think I'll get to experience that. I just don't feel good about myself anymore. Edit. I just wanted to say thanks to everyone that commented. Reading through the comments has made me feel a little better now. Thanks. I feel so bad for him, but that's how life can be at the end of the day. Time and patience are key in life, even with finding a significant other. All right, that's it for today. Some of these stories were wild, some made me smile, and some just hit hard. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe. Bye.